very appreciative of appreciate the fact that you're tied in to what is probably the most important investment people make in their lives, which is to buy a home. And frankly, it can be overwhelming if you don't have the right guides and the right methodologies to apply. Tonight, we're blessed to have two top professionals in the industry to join us. They're going to share the process of home buying from their perspectives. One is Ed Will, who is a real estate professional, and he has a presentation he's going to share with you in a second. And then he's with Home Solution Real Estate Services here in the Charleston area. And then we're going to turn the presentation over to Brandy Atkinson, who's with Pinnacle Financial Partners. And she's going to share from a lender's perspective some concepts and some understanding. So with that said, we're ready to move forward. Ed, we're going to turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thanks again. I'm Ed Wilt. I'm with Home Solution Real Estate Services, and I'm going to get this started. So I tend to be long-winded, so I'm trying not to take too much of the time, so Brandy can get hers in, and we can all have hopefully a pretty good orientation for you. Home buying, like you said, is one of the biggest purchases anybody ever makes. And my mission, and not just my mission, but Home Solutions, we really push to deliver a world-class home buying experience to your family, so that we're worthy of the referrals that you send to us. This is a little bit of a breakdown of like what it is that we do that might be different from other agents. I don't want to read word for word because that might take a little long, but basically a lot of agents spend a lot of time on prospecting. They make cold calls, a lot of advertising. Some may not follow up with clients at all. They might send you a one-time thank you card or a gift, and they're usually too busy to follow up on a lead. And social media, I'm a little bit bad about social media. I'm usually pretty much out there with the people, so I don't have a lot of time for that, but I'm trying to get better. I do work by referral. I spend most of my time with my clients, and I'm available for consultation pretty much whenever you're free. I can be free, with the exception of daytimes. Right now I'm working 2 full-time careers. Then we do have a client appreciation program that we automatically enroll our clients in. Just to give you an example, right now we're doing the Pie Party, which I don't know, some of you may have heard of or had an experience with, but all of our past and present clients are invited to pick a free pie for the holiday. And this year we're adding in a poinsettia. And I'm never too busy to provide your friends, family, or referrals the same kind of selling and world-class service that you need while you're buying and selling your home. Really, it's about getting to know the people so we know what you're looking for. You know, we need to know a little bit about your lifestyle, household information, things that you're looking for in your home, the communities. You know, some people want pools, some people don't want HOAs, that kind of thing.
Excuse me, Ed, is your PowerPoint, should it be up at this time?
Yeah, it should have been up this whole time.
Okay, so you might want to hit stop share and then do a new share, because we just see your handsome bearded face. We do not see your presentation.
Let's see if I can get this to close then, because it's covering up my full screen. Yeah, for some reason it's not want to work. Let's try it again. Sorry about that, Jen.
No problem.
Share screen, right? I have to do a much quicker abbreviation now. All right, we got it pulled up again. Let's see if it'll share again. Now is it showing now?
Yes, sir, you're good. Now just click your presentation button and you're good to go.
All right, there we go. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, so you missed the pretty pictures, but I'll go through them quicker. This was basically what I went through with the mission and how I accomplished the mission, getting to know you. And now we're on to the two big questions. Am I in your smartphone is a big one for me with a lot of my clients. In the initial stages, when you send them a message, sometimes I reply back, who's this? Somebody as important in your life as your lender and your real estate agent, you should have them saved in your phone. I'm available 9 to 9 through the week, really more than that, but those are what I post so that I can get a little bit of rest. And the next question is, are you ready to get started? To get started in the journey, you want to have, to know that you're actually in the driver's seat. My job is to make the whole thing as smooth as possible and to navigate you through all the little bumps and bruises that you might run into, and try to make it as less hectic and scary as it's going to be. A lot of people, they get really overwhelmed. It's a big decision. There's a roadmap to the success of buying a home, and as long as you stay on the road and follow the map, you will have a little bit of bumps here and there, but we'll get you to the end. It's going to be an education process. You're going to learn a lot through the whole process. I'm going to learn some things through the whole process. There will, like I said, be bumps and detours and things that might get delayed, but it's never going to be a big problem as long as you keep your mind on that end goal. Don't lose sight of that goal. That I'm going to have that home. It's going to be mine. I'll never have to pay rent. I'm going to build equity and build wealth. And there's other people that might be wanting to join you on your journey, fellow travelers, friends, families, neighbors, anybody. And here's kind of like a cute little map that we did. You want to select an agent. Normally, you can kind of do that in the second stage after you've talked to a lender to get pre-approved. It's much better to have a pre-approved set of funding so you know how much you're going to spend, how much you can spend, if you're ready to spend. And then you can select an agent. But if you start with an agent, we'll get you to the right lenders to help you get that started. Then you want to count the cost. We're going to provide you with information sheets to kind of give you an idea of what kind of expenses you're going to be able to see along the way, how much money you're going to have down payments, money for inspections, earnest money, probably things that you might have heard of but never experienced. And then once you've got the money in your hand, or the lender says, you're pre-approved for this, and we've got some basic information, we're going to start the search. We're going to look around, try to find as close to possible what it is you're needing for your family. Buying a home isn't so much a selection process. It's more like a process of elimination. You go through what is out there and eliminate what just won't work for you until you come down with the options of what will work for you, and then you can kind of tweak it from there. And then we're going to go into the offer negotiation stage. Once you find something that you like, we'll submit an offer and do all the negotiations back and forth until we get it a ratified contract. And then, then it's going to be more on you. You're going to have to do your homework. There's going to be inspections you're going to have to keep up with. I'll help keep you on track with that. Paperwork that you're going to have to get to your lenders. All kinds of things. They're probably going to ask for things that you feel like you've sent them 3 or 4 times. Just do it. Don't wait. And then as long as everything goes, in that process and there's not too many bumps, we'll get you to closing. Closings are taking 45, 60 days, depending on the lender and how much paperwork. If it's a cash deal, it's a little bit less. So it kind of breaks it down. When you select an agent, the agent works for you. A lot of people don't realize that. As long as you have a signed agreement with that agent, they're basically you with the knowledge. My job is, even if it's going to benefit me more than you, I have to do what's best for you. We work with new construction. We do open houses for sale by owners. We do marketing. We negotiate, coordinate everything. We have a contact list of professionals like inspections, lenders, attorneys, pretty much anything you're going to come across that you're going to need. Even outside of once you've bought your home, there's going to be things that you might need, like landscaping, repairmen, that kind of stuff. And we have this kind of list available to get you referrals for anything that's related to your home. So then when you select a lender and a loan, you want to definitely compare the loan and the costs. Some lenders can do better products than others. Some don't offer some things that others do. So it really boils down to what it is that's going to best suit your needs. And then you want to have the good faith and loan estimate. They're going to tell you pretty much what they think they can prove you for. You're going to submit documents. They're going to do a pre-approval for you. Hopefully, if everything goes well, or tell you, you're not quite ready. And if that's the case, then we've got resources for that to help you get ready. Then there's different types of loans, FHA, VA, USDA, conventional, there's Palmetto Heroes, there's a few others out there. So, the lenders are going to have all that information for you and be able to tell you which one would best suit your needs. We offer a Gold Star guarantee. We want to make sure that, we give you the best experience with whatever skills I have. And if I don't have the skills, Teresa Cooper, I don't know if any of you know her, but Teresa Cooper is my broker, and I feel like she wrote the book on real estate, and she holds my hand for everything. And every time I have a question, she's got the answer. So I communicate quite well and often, and sometimes I get told I communicate too much. So I do my best to keep up with everybody on time and ahead of time and make sure that we don't miss any deadlines. Because it's very important, that we stay on track and I stay in touch with you so that you know every step of the way what's going on with the purchase of your home. And then satisfaction is guaranteed. If you're not satisfied with what I'm doing to get your dream home, then you can cancel our agreement anytime prior to having a ratified contract. Once we're in contract, I can't do that. But prior to having a contract in hand, you can cancel anytime for no reason at all, or you just don't want to tell me, that's fine too. Then with the count the cost, there's a sheet that I have for this too. It breaks it down like money that you're gonna have to come up with for the home buying process. We got the down payment, which is handled by you and the lender. The earnest money deposit is something that we'll negotiate when we submit an offer. There's going to be closing costs. Usually that covers like appraisals, home inspections, and CL 100s, a few other things. Then there's HVAC inspections. Some of these are not required, but things that I would recommend getting because you want to make sure you're buying the best possible home. Utility deposits, some people don't think about that when they're counting and doing their budget. Moving costs, trucking, rentals, that kind of thing. People lift furniture for you. You might be moving to a home from a townhome, and now you're going to need lawnmowers and things like that, household supplies. And then you want to definitely budget repairs and maintenance, because now when you call the landlord for that broken water heater, it's going to be your phone that's ringing. When we start the search, we're going to eliminate and select from what's available. You want to prioritize your needs over your wants. I mean, it's nice to have wants, but with this market especially, there's not a lot available out there. So we want to make sure that we're really getting you to what you need. And then if we can find some of those wants, then that's great. But if not, then at least you have what you need. And then we can do online previews. There's internet searches. I have MLS portal that I can set you up on, and you can look at homes. I can send you stuff in email. We set up home tours. I like to limit to 5 a day. I usually schedule for a 30-minute window to give you time for traffic. Some people, you get in there right in and out. They don't like the house, right away. Sometimes you want to spend a little more time. And then please allow 48 hours for scheduling. Some homes are still occupied and they require at least 24 hours like a pre-request or an advance notice to get in to see them. And, I do work with other clients, and most agents hopefully have other clients. And then you always keep that goal in mind. You want that house, no matter how stressful it is, you keep that in mind, and I'll help you keep your eye on the prize there. So when we get to the offer stage, we're going to look at the price, the closing costs, the home warranty, if you want one. We're going to try to plan the closing date to where it works for everybody. Lenders have to get their part done. There's so many moving parts. You have to, work with everybody to get to that. And then some homes don't come with certain appliances. You have to be able to plan for that. I like to make sure that your home is contingent on a home inspection. Again, that's one of those things that's not required, but I really don't ever recommend buying a home without having it inspected first. Appraisal, if you're getting financing, the appraisal is going to be required, but if it's not through financing, then it's not. It's still a good idea. The CL 100 or wood infestation report, they check for any kind of termite damage, any kind of mold or mildew or fungus that could be destroying the wood in the home. So you know right up front if this is good fit or if it's something you want to walk away from or if they're going to get it repaired. And so then we make that offer. If the seller decides they want a counter offer, they'll come back and say no, but this is what we want, and then we'll negotiate that. We'll go back and forth. When we get the inspection report and the CL 100 report back, sometimes there's repairs and we have to negotiate those, or gives you a chance to get out of that deal. And the appraisal, the appraisal can affect the price. Lender's only going to pay what the house is worth. So if the appraisal comes out less than what you've offered on the house, you either have to come up with that money out of your pocket to make up the difference or negotiate a lower sale price. And here's a cute little thing about doing your homework. You want to complete that loan application as soon as possible. Then, when we do schedule home inspection, once we get to that point, you want to be there. You want to see what they're looking at and ask questions. You don't usually get to see the appraisal process, but you can be there for the home inspection. I always recommend doing that. They check for radon, mold, well, they can check septic. Some will do HVAC. Sometimes you can do a separate HVAC inspection. They check your breaker boxes. The inspector's job is to find anything they can wrong with the home so that you're not surprised. You wind up buying a money pit. I don't know if anybody ever saw that movie, but it was pretty funny. If you don't know that stuff up front, you can't negotiate that after the fact. So it's something you can go in and say, hey, can you fix this? Or there's too much work for me, I can walk away. And then you want to schedule the CL 100, which is another one of those inspections, and we'll review that and see what comes back. Hopefully it comes back clear, but if not, then we can go back and say, hey, we need to get this cleared up before we can move forward. You're going to need to get insurance quotes. You're going to have to insure your new investment, make sure it's protected in case of another hurricane comes through or flood or all kinds of different types of things. And some will be required by your insurance or your lender. Some of it, because if it's in a flood zone, you're going to have flood insurance. Others are optional. The appraisal, we don't always get a copy of the appraisal, depending on what side of the transaction you're on. But if you can get a copy of your appraisal, if you're buying a home, you can get a copy of it, and then we'll go over it and see what kind of criteria they used. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. I did it again. Normally I can go back, but that's weird. I go all the way back through. That's interesting. Anyway, sorry about that, gentlemen, ladies. There we go. I was trying to move something and I clicked the wrong thing. All right, get info on schools. Yeah, a lot of people ask me questions about schools. Is this a good neighborhood? Those kind of questions I legally can't answer. Those are things that you have to research on your own. I can't steer you into a certain neighborhood or away from certain neighborhoods. It used to be a big problem, and I hear there's still some problems with that. But those are things that you have to check in and find out for yourself. Is a school rating something that you can live with or that you like, or you tell me which areas you want to be in, and I'll try my best to get you there. Things that a lot of people don't think about is you got to change your address, and all this stuff going to change. You're going to change your license, vehicle registration. You got to get utilities set up, find out who the utility providers are, and those are information that I help you get. Then on closing day, everybody gets to do a nice little happy dance. You're going to get a closing statement sent to you by the lender. The attorney is going to have a copy, and then we're going to go through it, make sure that everything that you're supposed to get credit for and credit that you've paid will be showing on there, hopefully correct. And then we're going to wire the funds the day before, usually before closing. You can send it. Most attorneys want you to wire it, but some of them will let you do a certified check or even a personal check. It just depends on the attorney that's holding the money. And you always want to bring your ID, bring your driver's license or ID, and be prepared because you're going to sign a lot of documents. It's going to be, especially with a financing, it's a stack of paper probably about an inch thick. And the attorney's going to go through each section and tell you what it's about, and you're going to sign, and your handwriting is going to change the whole time. It's going to look different by the time you get to the end. Then once you're done signing, we're going to hand you some keys and you can do the happy dance that I mentioned. Because you will now officially own the home. But it's not done yet, because after closing, you're going to have utilities transferred. Some people can do this ahead of time. They know when they're going to close, so they can call and schedule that. You want to find a safe place to keep your documents. You can do digital form and keep some of them, but you might want to keep a paper copy, like in a safe deposit box, or if you have a safe at home or something. I always recommend changing the locks when you buy a new home. You don't know how many people have had access to that home and the keys while it was on the market being shown. The owners could have lent a set of keys out to neighbors to watch the house when they're away, and they just forgot to get them back from them. If there's a termite bond in place, you want to follow up on that, make sure that they're going to continue. You want to change your address, of course, with everybody so that you get your papers and your new mail, and change your vote, all this stuff, vehicles and voter registration. And then this one, I've had 2 clients recently that didn't do this, and they got a surprise bill in the mail. They didn't file for that special 4% homeowner tax rate. So if you live in the home, the counties give you a form that you can fill out, and some of them are doing it online now, I believe. And instead of paying 6% tax, you can pay 4% homeowner tax if it's your primary residence. And that can save you quite a bit of money. I think somebody told me that 6% could equal almost 3 times what the 4% tax rate would be. And then you want to make sure you stay on schedule with changing your filters, in your HVAC. Some say every 3 months, but every 30 days is better. So like you could set it up to where when you're paying your mortgage, you can change your filters, and that just helps keep your HVAC in good running condition, especially with the heat here. It can cause it to work harder and freeze up. So if a filter is clean, it doesn't work as hard to pull the air through the system. You want to have it serviced every spring and fall, and conduct an annual home inspection. If some people don't do that, but the same guy that came out and did the home inspection for your offer can come out and do another inspection for you. Of course, you have to pay, but it's good to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed or comes up that might have not been caught the first time around. And then every couple of years you want to check on the mortgage rates. Rates go up and down. You may have PMI. You may have earned enough equity in your home to get rid of PMI. It's always good to check and see. It's not always going to be the best interest for you, but definitely don't be afraid to call a lender and ask them if maybe I can get a better rate and save a little bit of money. And then we're going to schedule a housewarming party, hopefully with friends and family. With COVID, it's been a little hard the last couple of years. We haven't done too much of that. It's been a lot of virtual, send some pizza to the house while you're moving. And then you're automatically enrolled in our client appreciation program with our company. But here we've got written as join, because you don't have to participate, but I put you in there just in case. And then, I'm never too busy for you or any of your referrals. So if you want to send people to me, or if you have questions, even after we've helped you buy a home, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always available to help you. All right. And then our client appreciation program, these are just some of the things that we do. We send out change of address cards and notices for you. We do the holiday pie party, which we're doing right now. Referrals for other services that I mentioned earlier, like if you need somebody that helps with HVAC repair or lawn maintenance or pretty much anything. Babysitters, my wife's a tutor. You need a tutor, I can refer you to somebody. We do market updates and checkups. So if you want to check and see what your home would sell for or whatever, contact us. We could do a CMA for you and get an idea of what your house might be worth on the market at the time. Home news, realtor on retainer. I'm always going to be your real estate agent until you fire me. So once I've got you locked in there, I'm always there for you. You call me anytime, day or night. And if I don't answer, it's because I'm sleeping or with somebody else. So we do quite a bit for our clients, maybe more than some people, maybe not. But everybody needs a home. And I always believe that. And, I help people with rentals too. So, it's not just sales, but, rentals. Because even rental clients eventually want to move up and buy a home and get out of that rental situation, but it's not always the right time. So, and with that, I think that's pretty much it. I may have rushed it a little, but I was, a couple delays there, technical difficulties, but there will be a question and answer session, I'm sure. So if there's anything you want me to go back over, I can definitely answer questions later.
All right.
All
Well, we're
right.
going to go
I think
ahead and
that's
open
the
up the
basics
lines
of it.
now. If there are any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box or the question answer box, and we'll be sure to answer those. And so, or you can unmute and just ask your question before we have Brandy come on with the lender side of this. So are there any questions?
And it's Peter, and I'd like you to try to help our audience with the following issue. And this may
Yes.
sound a little self-serving, but
No.
many people feel that they can't afford a home or that they maybe aren't quite ready. They've had some blips in their credit history and all that. How do
Mhm.
you help them through, as an agent, that conversation?
You know, that is a tough one. I get that a lot. Most of the time, most of the clients I've helped are in that situation where they don't feel they have enough money saved, or they think, oh, my student loans, I can't get approved for a loan, but they've never actually checked with anybody. So I always recommend that they talk to the source first, check with a lender. If the lender comes back and says, you know, you're not quite ready, your credit might need a little fixing here and there, then we have resources like I send a lot of people to you guys. I'll talk to Increasing Hope. They can help with financial counseling and helping you get ready. And I also tell them to make sure that they get a written budget. That's something I'm amazed at how many people don't have a written budget. It really shows you what you've got coming in, where it's going out. And then it helps you plan a little bit better too. So you know how much you've got to make to put aside. And the other big issue usually is a down payment. But there's so many different financing options out there. Depending on what type of loan you're getting, the price isn't always that mythical 20% that everybody thinks you have to have down. So I usually refer them first to the lender to find out, if they can qualify at this time. And then after that, then we work with them to get them to people to help with credit counseling like you guys, or even sometimes they get set up with like other private companies that help with credit repair.
Super.
I'm not sure if that fully answered what you were asking, but
They did a good job of it. Because I think a lot of people are hesitant to enter into the process.
Right. I'm sure it can be a little overwhelming if you listen to everything that Ed shared with us. If you're hearing it for the first time, it definitely can be a little bit overwhelming as far as the responsibility. And the less you understand, the more overwhelming it can be. And that's actually, I think Peter was hinting around, that's the role that Increasing Hope plays, is that we come along beside you to help you understand this entire process. So before you ever would engage with Ed or with Brandy, we have helped you with that budget. We have made sure that your credit is where it needs to be. We have had you take our online home buying course so that you go in as an educated, knowledgeable, informed client for each of them, and it makes both their jobs a lot easier. I'm sure when they recognize those clients, they appreciate them so much more when they come in with a knowledge base that helps you enjoy the process a lot easier, because you have less questions, or if you have questions, you can call on Increasing Hope to get the answers that you need. So that's what we're here for, kind of come along beside you as HUD housing counselors and trained credit counselors as well, to make that process much more enjoyable, both for you and for these two professionals when they engage with you. So with that, I think we're going to turn it over to Brandy and let her share with us the amazing products of Pinnacle, one of our best partners here in our housing counseling course. So thank you, Brandy. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you,
Hi.
Dorothea. And Abby, we're just going to go real quick through these a little bit. Pinnacle is headquartered out in Nashville, so you get a big skyscraper. We don't have those in Charleston. I am going to be a little different than Ed in that I am going to read some of these word for word, for the simple fact that we're a bank, and I kind of need to. So Pinnacle is a member of FDIC, and we are an equal housing lender. We provide a full range of services. The purpose of this is to provide helpful information on the subject matter that we're covering. It is offered with the understanding that Pinnacle is not rendering legal or accounting advice. Since the details of your situation may be fact dependent, you should additionally seek the services of a competent professional regarding your personal situation. Information is subject to change without notice, of course. This is not an offer or an extension of credit or a commitment to lend. Pinnacle is not affiliated with the US government, HUD, FHA, VA, or any other government agencies. And then for additional information, you can contact the NMLS Consumer Access page and look us all up. Having said that, I do want to just kind of throw something in there. Where it says that we're not affiliated with them, that is because they are the government backing associations. They are not Pinnacle. We are not them. Do we do business with them and have lending products that are supported by those government agencies? Of course we do. Okay. You can go to the next one, Abby. There we go. Okay, so as a bank, I'm not going to read this one 100%. We are a full service bank. We do depository transactions. We have, I believe, 9 or 10 locations now. I think we just opened a new location up in Nexton that's in the Charleston area. Again, we're headquartered out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. We're now a little bit in Georgia. And so we've got a very good presence in the Southeast region. And you can go to the next one, Abby. I'm gonna be following along on mine. So this is the fun stuff that we get to talk about. So Pinnacle, you know, as a bank, one of the reasons we love partnering with Increasing Hope is there are community reinvestment initiatives that we, you know, as a bank, we're required to do them, but we want to give back to the communities we serve as well. And so we've kind of been tasked to figure out how are we going to do that. One of the programs we do offer, and a lot of lenders offer it as well, is called Home Ready. It is a Fannie Mae backed product. It allows for 80% of the median family income in Charleston as an income limit. So if you want to understand that a little bit better, basically, as a 1 or 2 person family, it doesn't matter, it's household income, only pertaining to the person getting the loan, you can't make more than $65,680. Now that is as of the 2020 census numbers. So I'm sorry, 2021. So, you know, soon enough, those numbers will go up, and they do go up about 3% each year, give or take. I happen to love this program. It allows for a 3% down payment. So if you put the math together and you're buying a $200,000 home, $6,000 could get you into it out of pocket. Okay. And that's very simplistic math. There are plenty of other things we'll talk about. Source of funds for down payment. You can get a gift from a family member. You can get a gift from a spouse, a child, although usually it goes the other way around. The pricing, when we talk about pricing in the lending world, we're talking about that referring to the rate you're going to qualify for. And as a standard, Home Ready does give you a little bit better rate. So that's a nice added benefit. The mortgage insurance, where it says reduced MI coverage, anytime you see MI or PMI, it's going to refer to mortgage insurance. Okay. And so as long as you have the necessary loan to value and debt to income ratios, you will get discounted mortgage insurance as a standard. And what it's saying is anytime you're putting less than 10% down, you're going to get a better rate on that. It is underwritten just like your credit score and things of that nature. So there are a lot of moving parts to figuring out what portion of your payment is going to be mortgage insurance. Here's another thing that I love about Home Ready. It is a conventional product, and the mortgage insurance cancels once your loan to value hits 78%, 80%, somewhere in there. It's usually 79. That's an automatic thing based on your original purchase price. And I don't want to confuse anybody with all of those terms, but you should know that it doesn't last the whole 30 years or 15 or 20, however many years you choose to do your mortgage. So it will go away. And that's in comparison to some of the other government products like FHA. For example, when you have mortgage insurance on an FHA loan, it does not ever go away. So I think this is a little bit more of an attractive program. you can have non-occupant co-borrowers, meaning your parents could help sign for it. And then we have a down payment assistance program. I'm going to get into that here in a minute. On the 2 more slides down. So Abby, I think, again, everybody pay attention to the disclosure at the bottom. You know, obviously we're just talking about very generic pieces to these programs. Okay. So Home Possible is Freddie Mac, and that particular one is very similar to the Home Ready program. I'm not going to go into the details here because, again, like I said, they're very similar, but it does allow borrowers to have non-occupant co-borrowers, like a family member, to help sign for it. And then again, those are some of the different things that you can get as far as flexible sources of down payment. How about the next one? There we go. All right, now this is my favorite program, everybody. This is a Pinnacle 100. So again, I go back to the Community Reinvestment Act. It's an act. Banks have to adhere to it to say, hey, we want to give back to the communities we serve. And this is how we as a bank have chosen to do that. All banks have their own versions. And again, I go back to banks because it is a bank requirement. Okay. So having said that, this one allows for no down payment. You don't have to come up with anything down. So 100% financing, meaning not even the 3%. There is a minimum $500. You put your skin in the game is what I call it. Okay. Having said that, usually, like Ed discussed, there's earnest money that you have to put forth. And we usually create that to be with the $500 so that you're coming out of pocket something. The seller can cover all of your closing costs. And I think Ed would probably agree that that's a little difficult these days, but it does happen. The income limits, again, they fall in line with the Home Ready and the Home Possible. So it's 80% of the median income for the county you're buying the home in. Okay. So around that 65,000 number. There's no mortgage insurance, which is to die for. You know, every bank, again, has their own program. This is how we as a bank have chosen to do this. Now, as a result of there not being mortgage insurance, it may not be the most beautiful rate out there, but it will be competitive. And as a result, you know, if you, and your lender, which would be me, is going to go through and decide which one of these programs is best for you. But I can tell you, I do these a lot and I compare them. And usually when you have a lower credit score, that affects your mortgage insurance. So it's going to be a little higher. And this is where this 100% program actually will come out ahead of the Home Ready. It does need to be within our assessment area. So Charleston, Berkeley, Dorchester counties. And then on to the next slide, we can pair this with a down payment assistance program. Again, this is an internal program. This is not something where you go to the state housing and get it. So as a bank, we approve it. We have everything to do with this piece of it.
Oh, wait a minute, Brandy. Wait.
Uh-huh.
You mean someone can get 100% financing and $7,500 down payment assistance?
Yes, ma'am. I sure do.
Ooh.
And you know, part of how we do this and facilitate it is where Increasing Hope comes in. Having said that, yeah, Dorothea, you're hitting it right on the head. We can actually not only do the 100% program, but we can couple that $7,500 down payment assistance piece with Home Ready, Home Possible, and with this Pinnacle 100 program. And the way that would work is basically, let's say, just for simplistic numbers, we do a $200,000 purchase price. So Ed's finding you a home, he finds you one, it's $200,000. The seller says, you know what? We could get $200,000 from Joe down the street or from you. So we're not going to pay you closing costs. They pick your offer and then you give them the 500. And I say give them, but I don't know how much we discussed on that, but the 500 earnest money does go towards your closing costs and your transaction. It doesn't just go to the seller so they get to keep it. Okay. Having said that, basically you're going to do a loan amount of 200,000 roughly, could be 199, 500 if we want to go that route. And then we will give up to 7,500 to assist with whether you want to apply that to your down payment and make your loan amount 192, 500, you can do that. Or if you need it to help with closing costs, it can go to any qualifying closing costs. Yes, ma'am.
That is absolutely amazing. And I would think we would have folks knocking down our door, but you know what? We're having to hunt the people down, Brandy. But needless to say,
That's why we're, you know, Dorothea, that's why we're doing this. It's not, you know, I will say this about Pinnacle. I love the company, but we do not advertise on every billboard and every corner. We choose to do it with the people we do business with. And that's a big part of why we're doing this.
Definitely.
So another piece to this is there is actually no payment associated with the 7,500 down payment. It tacks on as a second mortgage behind the first mortgage. And it's only, you will pay it back, not in the form of a monthly payment, but once you either refinance or sell the home. So that is a pretty nice benefit too. There's no interest rate attached to it. Like I said, this is our way as a company of giving back to the communities we serve. And so, you know, all of those things are true. And I know it does sound like it's too good to be true, but you know, it works. There is one last thing, and it was on the last slide, but I do need to say this. There are some criteria to qualify for the down payment assistance, okay? And that is very strategic in the sense of giving back to the communities we serve. And, you know, once we determine that you'll qualify for that type of program and possibly the down payment assistance, I'm going to get with whoever my borrower is, and I'm going to teach you how to find if the house itself qualifies. Because now it becomes not just you as the borrower, but the home itself actually has some criteria it's got to qualify with as well. Okay, so, and then on this last slide, you know, Pinnacle can do it all. I personally like working with my first-time home buyers, but we can, and I will tell you this is an older slide, actually, the conforming loan limit has gone up. But we do first-time home buyers, jumbos, we have a private wealth product, we have a doctor program. We also happen to have a musician program, which I've always been fascinated with because we are headquartered in Nashville. There is some musician in piece to that world. And so they've created some products. And again, that kind of goes back to how we choose to cater to the world we are in. And so that's some details about those things, but I'm not sure. Ebby, I think you have a different slideshow than I have. So I'm not sure what's on the next one. Oh, yeah. Well, so
Nice
that's me
picture.
on the left. I do have other people that I work with, everyone. Robert Bobo's in Charleston, John McNeil's in Charleston, and Danny Davis heads up some of our CRA activities at Pinnacle. And that really is me. I did cut my hair and dye it not so long ago. So, and then I think from there, we're just going to open it up to questions. So any questions, bring them on.
Thank you, Brandy, for that awesome presentation. And I am going to task everyone on this call. We're going to take some questions. And Jasmine, we want to hear your questions. We want to hear how you can help, how we can assist you. I want to acknowledge Miss Deborah on the call, who is now our new local contact in the CRA area. So we are definitely glad to have Deborah on board with Pinnacle. But I want to task everyone with this information that you heard tonight to go and tell 5 people, and then task those 5 people to tell 5 people. Because you know what? We have a lot of money sitting in a bank account that we need to get out to people, and we need your help telling those people about the availability of these funds. And so that's going to be your homework after this presentation, to go tell people that Increasing Hope has money to help individuals become homeowners. And so that's your task. And so Peter, I'm gonna allow you to open it up with some of your great questions to get the ball rolling here.
Okay.
So while Peter is looking at the question answer box to see if we have any questions, Brandy, I want to ask you about, Ed mentioned this as well, but what is the biggest difference? I'm going to go back to Increasing Hope and the role that we play. The biggest difference that you see in the clients that come in who have maybe had some form of housing counseling or financial education, who have even gone through the process of being vetted or vetting their credit. How is that client a different type of client for you? What makes the difference in that client?
Oh, that's a tough one. Wow, Dorothea. Well, I tell you, what I would say is it's a much easier conversation for me because I'm not having to deliver bad news. I've got somebody that is knowledgeable, understands some of the process, understands and has a goal and has already worked towards that goal. And to me, that, we're going to hold your hand. Me, Ed, you guys, that's the key, is we're going to hold someone's hand because your goal of home ownership is our goal too. So I would welcome them through my doors all day long.
Awesome. Definitely. Definitely. And so as you can see, both Ed and Brandy, and of course, Increasing Hope, we have a passion for helping the community and being a part of your journey to home ownership. And so we just welcome the opportunity to serve you. So Jasmine is asking us, is there anything for those that may not live in those counties?
Good question.
Okay, so yes and no. If we're talking the immediate low country area, unfortunately, we do not have a branch presence in some of the more outlying areas like Orangeburg. We do, though, have some presence in the Myrtle Beach area. And again, in North Carolina, all over, I'm pretty sure it's the whole state of Tennessee, and some presence in Georgia as well, and then Virginia. So there are specific counties that we are currently approved to do the down payment assistance. Now, having said that, I can do the P100 in any state we're in. You just wouldn't qualify for the down payment assistance piece. And then I can do, of course, Home Ready in all 50 states. So.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
Okay. Do you have a question for us, Peter?
Well, I kind of just want to add my 2 cents. Being a former banker myself, I plead guilty. It's that my experience has been that you put together a team. When you're ready to make a commitment to go get a home, I use the word home, not house, a home for yourself and your family. It is a big investment, but getting professional help surrounding you, in other words, like a 3-legged stool, get a professional in Ed's world, a professional in Brandy's world, and we'd like to think that we are the 3rd leg of that 3-legged stool because it provides a firm foundation to build your future off of. And I would just encourage everyone who's been kind enough to tune in tonight to take a look at their situation. And we'd be very pleased to be able to help direct you and your family in the right direction towards professionals like you're seeing on the screen tonight. Wealth of knowledge there.
Definitely, definitely. And just like anything else, as we teach our business owners, it's like you need a team. In this home buying process, you need a team. And these are just 3 individuals: your lender, your realtor, and your educator, and your advocate, because we are here, Increasing Hope. Our role is to advocate for you, to help you make sure you're asking the right questions, that you understand the whole entire process. If you're not comfortable with whoever your realtor or lender will be, you have a safe space to come back to the Increasing Hope family, and we're there to answer any of those questions for you. and to help you, like I said, enjoy the home buying process. So one of the biggest obstacles that we see is the credit issue. And so one of the things we always like to share with our clients is that as a housing counseling agency, we actually have special permission from the credit bureaus that when we pull individuals' credit reports, it is actually a soft hit. Now, many of our lenders, our realtors do not know that. And so sometimes, and as we saw Ed's little roadmap there, where you start with the realtor, lender, whatever, you kind of need to take a step back, start with your housing counseling agency, because we can pull that credit report. We can make sure that you're what we call mortgage ready when you go see Brandy or when you go see Ed. We have already assured you that when they pull that credit report, you're going to get approved. They just will come up with the number that you're approved for, but you don't have to be hesitant. You don't have to be fearful. Why? Because we have prepared you to be an ideal client for them. What's an ideal client? That client that's ready to move forward, not that one that's saying, oh, I think, I don't know what you're going to get when you pull my credit, or I might be. No, you can walk in there knowing what your credit score is. You can walk in there with your list of needed paperwork that they're going to ask you for, and you can hand Brandy that packet of everything that she needs, because we've prepared you for that. And I'll tell you what, you're gonna have to pick her up off the floor, because she does not have that many clients that comes in that prepared, okay? So, but we want you to walk
That
into
is
her.
so true, Dorothea. I mean, that it is priceless when you're prepared
Yes.
and ready to go. And, I was telling Peter the other day, there are an average, and this may again be an old number, but of at least 56 people involved in a real estate transaction.
Yeah.
And if you
is
just
tough.
think about my team,
Mhm.
you're going to have me. I'm the one that holds your hand, but you're also going to have an underwriter. You're going to have a processor. We're going to have a closer. Somebody's going to wire the money. The bank is the one giving the money. So, sometimes I tell people we're liable to ask for a DNA sample in your firstborn. And although that's a massive exaggeration, if someone is helping you prepare the DNA sample in the firstborn, then I'm going to go through a whole lot smoother with my team, at least.
That's
and
right.
Ed's going to hold your hand on the real estate side. And, I think it is overwhelming to a lot of people to understand that. I mean, it's the biggest purchase you're ever going to make.
Yes.
It really is. It's not a car, it's a home. And
Right.
it is your home. And it's really not that bad when you have the right players involved. So
That's right.
That's my
Definitely. Awesome. Well, again, as you can see, guys, we stand ready to assist you. The funds are sitting, waiting on you. We just need you to come on in and allow us to engage with you, to walk you through this home buying process. We will not leave you. We will be at the closing table. So from the time you pull that credit report to see where you are and how we might need to assist you, to the time that you are signing on the dotted line and getting handed your keys to your new home, we are there for you and with you. And so we have, I'll just take the time to introduce Peter. Peter is a housing counselor with Increasing Hope, and you'll see Kim Miller, her name up there. She is a certified HUD housing counselor, and I am also a certified HUD housing counselor. And so we are prepared and equipped to take you on this journey to home ownership. And some of you, your lenders, actually, when they send out mortgage payments, if you'll take a look at your mortgage payment, you may see the name Increasing Hope listed there as someone to assist you for individuals that might run into hardships after they become homeowners as well. And so we stand at the ready and equipped to serve you in this way and in this capacity. So, Peter, do we have any more questions?
We have no more questions, but I do have one comment, if you'll let me share something that I have a lot of passion about. It has to do
Okay.
with you all who are viewing this presentation tonight. Some of you are probably wondering whether or not I can do this. And the answer to that question is, you sure can. We'll help you along the way. But if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count, as one of my associates used to tell me, meaning you too can have a home. It's a matter of preparing yourself for it, getting together with some professionals like we've had tonight. Thank you, Ed, Brandy, thank you so much for your work. And we look forward to parties at your home.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're just going to open it up one last time. Ms. Kim, would you like to share anything as one of our team members here?
First of all, I'd like to tell you thank you so much for tonight. It was an excellent presentation. And I do have some clients that I'm working with, and I will definitely be telling them about the program and what you have to offer so that can encourage them along their way. And they're pretty close, so I'm excited to be able to share this information. And as Peter's already stated, it is possible. It is possible for those that are listening out there. You can do it, and just be encouraged. And we are here to help in any way that we can. So thank you again.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, if there are no other questions at this time, Brandy or Ed, we'd like for you to have any closing remarks that, if you would like.
Well, I would like to say that I've been through one of the workshops that Increasing Hope did. I'm trying to think how many years ago now it was, 10 or 11 years ago, I think maybe. Teresa Cooper, who was my agent back then, is now my broker. She invited us out to come, and then she's helped us, talk to lenders and credit counselors to get us ready. Because I moved here from a rural place in North Carolina with an NA credit score. Nobody would rent to me. And we found a private owner that she happened to be managing his property, and we went through, and we took a little bit of time. I was a little slow to get on board, but we did the steps. And then within 5 years of meeting Teresa Cooper, we bought our first home. And then I realized that people like her that love people the way she does was something I wanted to do. And that's what got me into the real estate business. And I'm hoping to continue on what she started.
Right.
That's great.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Ed. I think you hit on something that we try to encourage people or let them know is that, the journey may take a while, and everybody's journey to financial freedom or to home ownership looks a little bit different. And again, that time frame may be a little bit different, but I can tell you from a client that we had that just closed on the house the end of August or September, it is possible. And she will tell you also that we never left her side. And so someone like the Teresa Coopers in the world, the agencies like Increasing Hope and loan officers like Brandy, home ownership is definitely possible, without a doubt. So Brandy?
So I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this. Listen, Increasing Hope, you guys are doing great things. And I think there was a serious need for Increasing Hope in Charleston. So I'm so glad, Dorothea, I know you've had a lot of time and blood, sweat, and tears put into creating such an amazing organization. So I commend you for that. And again, I appreciate you letting me be a part of it. And I'm happy to help. I do genuinely love my first time home buyers. I feel like, I've got to sleep at night, and I'd much rather get someone into a home that's never had the opportunity. Then, and don't get me wrong, I love working with everybody, but I do get a lot out of it too. And so I'm just happy to help, and let's get more people into homes.
Yes, awesome.
It's pretty nice when you don't have a landlord over your head. And the bank can be over your head too, but they're not telling you how loud you can play your music and, things like that. So there's something to be said about the pride of home ownership and
most
magic,
definitely.
I call it. So
most definitely.
Anyway, thank you very much for letting me participate.
You're welcome. Thank you to both you and Ed. We definitely appreciate it. And yes, Ed, if you would just throw our contact information there in the chat. We can be reached, guys, as she's typing that in, though our number is 843-225-4343. If you're not already working with us, because some of the clients may already be working with us that's on the call. However, please reach out, and we are more than welcome to, ready to assist you with your home buying process. And I can't wait. Hopefully we're just a few more months out. We will be moving into a brand new building, which will have a state-of-the-art training space, and we are going to go back live. It's going to be all live. I can't wait till we can get there and see people and have you ask your questions face to face and have us again, engage in your home ownership journey. So with that said, there is Brandy's contact information, Ed's information, and of course, the phone number to Increasing Hope. We want to thank you for joining us tonight, each one of our speakers. And we just look forward to getting many, many more people into homes. Thank you for the team joining me tonight, Kim, Peter, Ebby J, and Miss Deborah. You know I love you. Thanks for being on the call. Look forward to seeing several of you guys at our event on Thursday. If you do not know about it, give Peter a call. He'll tell you all about it. We'd love to have you guys in the room. So with that said, and if there are no more comments from anyone, we will get ready to close out tonight. We want to thank you for joining us, and everyone have a great evening.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Thank you,
Bye now.
guys. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.